Something is happening in Walford that no one saw coming. A wedding meant to unite two families was shattered by the return of a man everyone thought was gone for good. Max Branning, disgraced, exiled, and haunted by secrets, has stepped back into Albert Square after 4 long years. But this isn't just a homecoming, it's a reckoning. Every glance, every whispered conversation, every stolen kiss feels like part of a much darker plan. Why now? Why here? And what unfinished business could be so powerful that it drags Max back into the chaos of Walford? If you think you know the story, think again. Because what happened at Lauren and Peter's wedding is only the beginning of something much bigger, a conspiracy that threatens to tear the square apart. Before we dive in, smash that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Walford has seen its fair share of shocks, but this was different. The sight of Max Branning walking into his daughter's wedding froze the room. Conversations stopped. Glasses slipped from trembling hands. And then silence. For 4 years, Max had been nothing more than a ghost, a name whispered in hushed tones, a shadow that haunted the edges of the square. His scandals, his betrayals, his endless schemes had left him exiled. People believed they were free of him, but ghosts have a way of returning. Lauren, dressed in white, couldn't hide the tremor in her voice as she confronted him. Guests muttered among themselves, torn between shock and outrage. Why here? Why now? The truth was darker than anyone dared to admit. Max wasn't there to celebrate. He was there to settle debts, expose betrayals, and tear open old wounds that had barely healed. And standing at the heart of this chaos was Stacey Slater. Once his lover, once his greatest downfall, and now the woman whose future would be changed forever because of his return. What no one knew was that Max had been watching Walford long before he stepped foot on the square again. Watching, waiting, planning. But who was pulling his strings? Max's reappearance wasn't random. Months earlier, whispers had begun. Private detectives snooping around. Unmarked cars parked outside the Queen Vic. Strangers asking questions nobody should know the answers to. At first, people dismissed it as paranoia. But then Zoe Slater appeared. Young, unpredictable, and hiding secrets of her own, she had been tangled with Max in ways no one fully understood. Their relationship was a powder keg waiting to explode. Stacey's heart broke all over again when she caught Max kissing Zoe. For Stacey, it wasn't just betrayal. It was history repeating itself. She had once destroyed her marriage to Bradley, Max's own son, because of an affair with Max. And now, years later, Max was weaving his chaos into the Slater family again. This was no coincidence. It was a cycle. And Stacey knew the only way to break it was to leave. That's why she chose Brazil far enough away to escape the endless loop of pain, betrayal, and broken promises that followed Max wherever he went. But Max wasn't the only one hiding something. His son Oscar, older now, had been quietly piecing together fragments of his father's past. When he finally confronted Max, their emotional reunion left viewers shattered. Oscar begged him to stay, to rebuild, to finally act like a father. But Max's response was chilling. "I'm not your solution, Oscar. The strength you need is already inside you." To the outside world, it sounded like fatherly wisdom. But to those who know Max, it sounded like a goodbye. Or worse, a warning. Because the truth is, Max never returns to Walford without a reason. And this time, the reason may destroy more than just the Slaters. Stacey's departure from Walford hit fans hard. Watching her climb into that taxi with Hope and Arthur, leaving Lily and Jean behind, was heartbreaking. But something about the farewell didn't add up. No Julia's theme, no finality, no closure. Instead, there were breadcrumbs for those who were paying attention. Lacey Turner herself broke the silence, promising fans, "I'll be back in no time." So what really pushed Stacey to leave? Was it just the kiss between Max and Zoe? Or did she stumble onto something bigger, something too dangerous to stay near? Max's past is filled with shadows, corrupt deals, buried secrets, enemies who never truly disappeared. Could Stacey have uncovered one of them? Was her move to Brazil really about escape or survival? Meanwhile, Oscar's tears weren't just about his father's cold words. They were about the creeping realization that Max was planning something he didn't want his children caught up in. And as Stacey's taxi pulled away, the camera lingered on Max. His eyes weren't sad. They were calculating, watching. I'm almost waiting. While Max and Stacey's storyline gripped fans, another storm was brewing, one that could tie everything together. Ravi Galati's empire had been expanding quietly, pulling in vulnerable young men like Kojo Asari. Drugs, money, power. Ravi's grip on Walford was growing stronger by the day, and the Mitchells weren't going to stand by and watch. Harry Mitchell, desperate to save his friend Kojo, turned to his father Teddy. Together, they began plotting a dangerous move against Ravi. But what they didn't know was that Kojo was already too deep. The collapse in the arches wasn't just exhaustion, it was a warning. Ravi's world doesn't let people walk away. And here's where things get darker. Private detectives, unmarked cars, whispers in the night. The same shadows linked to Max's return were now circling Ravi. Coincidence? Or is someone orchestrating all of this from the shadows? What if Max's sudden reappearance wasn't just about Stacey or Zoe, but about Ravi? Imagine it. Two storylines colliding. The Brannings and the Slaters entangled in a war against the Galatis, with the Mitchells caught in the middle. And if Max really is working with someone or against someone even more powerful, Walford could be on the brink of its darkest chapter yet. By the time the credits rolled, fans were left with more questions than answers. Why did Max really come back? Was it about Zoe, Stacey? Or is there a deeper connection between his past and Ravi's empire? Why did Stacey leave so suddenly? And why without Julia's theme? What secret is Max hiding from Oscar? And most chilling of all, who is pulling the strings behind the scenes? Because make no mistake, EastEnders doesn't bring back Max Branning without a plan. His story isn't finished. In fact, it may only just be beginning. And if history has taught us anything, it's that when Max Branning sets foot in Albert Square, people get hurt. So here's the real question. When the truth comes out, will Walford survive the fallout? Or will Max finally burn the square to the ground? Stick around, because the answers are coming, and you won't believe the twists that lie ahead. Max Branning isn't just back. He's back with a purpose that only he understands. For weeks, before stepping into Walford, he had been watching from the shadows, piecing together every move of the people around him, every whisper in the square, every secret kept, every betrayal remembered. Max knows them all. And now, with Stacey gone, Oscar left bewildered, and Zoe unwittingly entangled, he has the perfect storm forming around him. But Max's motives are never simple. Was he really forgiving Zoe for taking that £5,000? Or was it a chess move, a way to draw her closer, to have an ally, or perhaps a pawn in a much bigger game? Meanwhile, secrets of the past resurface. Jean Slater notices little inconsistencies, fleeting glances, whispered phone calls that shouldn't happen. Could it be Max's plotting spilling into their lives? Or is someone else manipulating events, pulling strings that even Max hasn't anticipated? The wedding, once a symbol of love and family, now feels like the epicenter of a war. Every guest holds a piece of the puzzle. Every look hides suspicion. And every heart is vulnerable. While the Slaters and Brannings are caught in emotional and psychological battles, the Mitchells are preparing for war. Harry Mitchell's desperation to save Kojo from Ravi's grasp has unleashed a chain of events that threatens to implode the square. Teddy, seasoned and calculating, realizes that this isn't a simple rescue mission. Ravi is no ordinary gangster. He's meticulous, ruthless, and connected. Every move Teddy makes is countered, every step anticipated. It's as if someone knows their plan before it even begins, and that someone might just be Max. He isn't directly involved yet, but his return has created chaos that everyone feels: the Slaters, the Mitchells, even the Galatis. Max thrives in chaos, and chaos is exactly what Walford has become. Harry's moral compass is tested. Does he tip off the police, risking Kojo's life and the Mitchell family's reputation? Or does he trust Teddy's unorthodox methods? Every decision could have deadly consequences. And while they strategize, Kojo's collapse in the Arches is a chilling reminder. In Walford, survival is never guaranteed. Back on the square, whispers grow louder. Zoe begins noticing small details: locked drawers, missing documents, and cryptic messages Max leaves behind. She starts to question her own reality. Is Max protecting her, manipulating her, or is she unknowingly part of a scheme bigger than she can comprehend? Oscar, still struggling with the emotional abandonment of his father, begins following Max. Every secret meeting, every hidden conversation, Oscar is there, silently piecing together the puzzle. He senses danger, but what can a teenager do against the full weight of Max Branning's plans? Meanwhile, Stacey's life in Brazil isn't as peaceful as it seems. Even thousands of miles away, the square's shadows reach her. Messages, rumors, and threats follow her, hinting that her departure may have been orchestrated to remove her from a dangerous equation. The convergence is coming. Max's past, Stacey's choices, the Mitchells' rescue mission, and Ravi's criminal empire are all heading toward an inevitable collision. And in the eye of this storm, Walford will never be the same. Every thriller needs a master manipulator, and Walford might have one hiding in plain sight. While Max appears to be pulling the strings, evidence suggests he himself is being manipulated. Anonymous messages, untraceable threats, and a series of coincidences point to a hidden figure orchestrating events from behind the curtain. Could it be someone from Max's past? Someone who knows his weaknesses, his desires, and his darkest secrets? Or is it a new player, someone who has infiltrated Walford's delicate ecosystem and is turning friend against friend, family against family? The viewer is left questioning. Is Max the villain, the hero, or the unwitting pawn in a game far larger than any of them realize? Every glance, every whisper, every decision is layered with hidden motives. Every character's action has consequences, and someone is recording it all, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The tension builds. The square is calm, deceptively so. But beneath the surface, alliances are fragile, hearts are breaking, and a storm is coming that will change everything.